Paul Costin retires, 39 years. So I'm sure this is a very happy day for all the coaches at Virginia Commonwealth. Because I know over the years it had to be tough. When you have Costin in your athletic department, your athletic director is always talking about Paul Costin. Paul Costin won another championship. Paul Costin going to the NCAAs. And the bad thing about when Paul Costin does it, he does it cheap. I mean, that guy is a cheap coach. I mean, I've seen him buy uniforms at Walmart and go out and beat Tennessee. I mean, it actually happened. So for you coaches at VCU, I know it's a happy moment for you because now you don't have to hear about Paul Costin did this and Paul Costin did this and Paul Costin won here. And you go to the budget guy and you tell him you need some money. But Paul Costin, he didn't want more money. He didn't want to spoil those players. So he would win, giving them day-old bagels and putting shoe goo on the shoes. What kind of coach would put shoe goo on the players' shoes to keep them going? So that guy was cheap, and he won a lot. It's not a rumor. Shaka Smart was a heck of a basketball coach at Virginia Commonwealth. But Paul Costin chased him out of town because, so what? Shaka got one Final Four, won some conference championships. Every night he had to go home and tell his wife. Shaka had to tell his wife, that, hey, Paul Costin was the best coach at Virginia Commonwealth. So that's why Shaka went to University of Texas. Paul Costin chased him out of town. So anyway, you coaches at VCU, I know it's some happy times because you just don't have to hear about it anymore. So anyway, Paul, my friend, Paul's a friend of, he's a friend of many people in coaching. I mean, he's a friend because he beat the hell out of all of us. I mean, he really did. Think about this, 42 conference championships. That guy was coaching men's tennis, women's tennis. He won 42 conference championships. He won more conference championships than the state of Virginia, all the coaches, Division 1, 2, 3 combined. Okay? I'm convinced Paul Costin could have also coached golf and still won championships. So really, Virginia Commonwealth, you weren't as economical as you could have been. You could have gave him the golf team, and he would have won some conference championships. So he could have probably had more. But Paul Costin, 42 conference championships. Let's see, top 25 on 14 occasions. Mid-major school, David against Goliath, and the guy was top 25 14 times. That's incredible. 38 NCAA appearances. So 38 NCAA appearances. That's well done, Paul. Let's see, 1,179 wins. That's a joke. I mean, 1,179 wins, 42 conference championships, 14 top 25 finishes, and 38 NCAA appearances. For sure, those coaches at Virginia Commonwealth are going to be happy that that you're moving on, that you're retiring. Now, I do have to share one Paul Costin story with you, and that is once upon a time, or a while back, in the conference championship, the CAA conference championship, my team, Old Dominion, we were in the semifinals, and we were struggling against Women Mary and my good friend Peter Dobb. He's not really my good friend. He used to get on my nerves. Got on Paul's nerves too, but we all liked each other. It was kind of a religious thing for me because I had Peter and Paul in my conference, Paul Costin at VCU and Peter Dobb at Women Mary. Well, anyway, so my team, we were struggling in the semifinals. I was a little tight. I was choking in the coaching. So I asked Paul to coach my players because I had some Swedish players. Paul's a good coach. So actually, Paul in the semifinals, he coached a couple of my players because Paul didn't want to see me lose to Women Mary. And I thought, and we didn't. So Paul coached up my players, two of them, for about an hour or so. And he had switched sides with him, and he coached him up, made sure we got that win. And I thought he did it because we were really good friends, but I think he did it because he knows he could beat me in the finals, and he did. And when we got to the finals, he didn't coach any of my players. Actually, he coached, against my players. So anyway, so Paul Costin helped me win that match against Wyman Mary and Peter Dobb. So I guess technically, maybe you don't have 1,179 wins. Maybe you have 1,180. However, I do think you owe me a lot of credit for getting to those 1,179 wins and those 42 conference championships, because damn near 50 of them were against me. And, I appreciate that you let me win, I think, a couple of times. Really do appreciate that. But Paul Costin, great coach. And there's this quote that I have here, and this pretty much sums up Paul. Paul's team, Paul is a coach. He could take his'n and beat urine, and then he can turn around and take urine and beat his'n. So basically, Paul could take his team, beat my team, but hell, he could take my team and beat his team. Well done, Paul. 39 years. You're a rock star.